Hey, what's up, guys? It's Kenny with the Van Bros. I'm here to record my profile for Blindmire pre Z-Set 8. So let's get into the profile. Of course, regular ride line. Doesn't matter what you play. Holoraptor, Vacant Fang, they really have the same effect that when they're right on top of each other. You look at the top three, put anything grade 1 or higher into the soul, and if you put 2 or more, draw a card. And then, of course, man himself, Blindmire. So, for anybody who doesn't know what Blindmire does, on attack, you can bind either 2 or 4 cards from your soul face down, draw a card, and then your opponent has to bind 2 of the rear guards face down. And then, of course, the bread and butter of the deck is the Divine skill, where at the beginning of the guard step, if you have 8 or more face down in your bind zone, you can give them a crit, and your opponent both loses the effects on their Vanguard, and they can't go with Sentinels for the entire turn. That includes Elementaria, because it says call or play. I agree. All right, let's get into the grade 1s. Here we're playing 4 copies of Opener of Heartphilia. Really, honestly, like the best grade 1 in the deck, just because you want that early draw. And of course, anything that calls it from the soul just goes right back in, so you're not losing fuel for your later game. We're currently running 3 copies of Evoke Alchemist, just so that on your Divine skill turn, you can get your 4th attack off to seal the deal, whether it be with an insanely large Vadrox or your Zamoo that gains a crit. Of course, we got 4 Recusal Hate Dragon, just regular PGs, but you know, damn, they'll be a lot more important later when we get Elaborate Wizard, because you can just grab it from the soul. So let's get into our grade 2s. It's gonna be a lot. Probably the best grade 2 in the deck. Zamoo. On call, Counterblast 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put any amount into the soul, shuffle, and it lets you draw a card. But the best part about this card is that when he attacks, if his original critical is just 1, you can Energy Blast 3 and give him plus 5k and a crit. Really, really important for closing the game in case they live through your Vanguard attack on turn 4. So, for Zamoogs, 4 Tiskar, because early game card draw is always going to be important in a piece reliant deck. Nothing really much to say there. For Vadrox, probably the best utility card in the deck, because when you call him, you have to soul charge 1 when you call him, and then you can counterblast 1, call any grade 2 or lower from the soul, and of course, for every 4 cards face down in your bind zone, he gives himself plus 10,000 power. So really, he's also your best booster when combined with 1 copy of Sagacious Schemer and 2 copies of Game of Underworld. Now, what Schemer does is that when he's placed on the rearguard circle, you Soul Blast 1, and it lets you search from your deck Game of Underworld. And what Game of Underworld does is that at the beginning of your battle phase, you can give any one of your back row rearguards boost. So just imagine swinging with your Vanguard on turn 3 with a 30k booster. It's practically unblockable on your Divine skill turn. And of course, I know this might be a little bit of an early add-in because we don't have Nexus yet, but 4 copies of Soaring Sun Presence Forward and Revertus just really as 4 more copies of Vadrox early game, just so you can be really aggressive with Ophelia, of course. And it's also just more soul early game. Moving on to grade 3s, not too much to say. We just have 1 copy of Radiance Caliburn, because so far Blindmire still, for some reason, does not have a counter charger like most other decks. So it's either late game counter charge, or if you're missing pieces, you just draw 2 cards for free. And of course, 3 more copies of Blangdmire, just so that we can Persona ride consistently. That's not really much to say about that. Triggers. We got 4 vanilla crits, can be really anything you want. And of course, 4 stem deviate dragon for our effect crits. Just really good. If you just don't, for some reason, have enough soul because you whiffed on your ride line early game. 4 heals, of course. 3 fronts, effect fronts, because 20k shield is always good. And 1 copy of Blue OT, just because being able to give an extra crit to anything you want to restand with Evoke Alchemist is fucking good. So, not much more to say there.
Nice job, thank you, Kenny. I want you to show off to the camera that Blangdmire real quick.
Oh, I mean this whole thing.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. The whole deck is pretty much, it's all high rarity?
For the most part, yes. I just need to get, like, you know, of course, signed copies of my my collab crits and like SPs of Natalia, but other than that, the deck's pretty high rarity.
You're a madman. Well, Kenny, thank you for the profile, and stay tuned because I'm gonna have Kenny cook up the Nexus list once it comes out.
You know it.